It's not a matter of a month from now or 2 months from now. We need to do these things immediately. So right now, the most important thing is to save lives. As you said, the value of life, save the value of the hostages, and eliminate terror. That's the only way you can do it.
We were so saddened to hear today about 6 deceased hostages. It seems like they were shot as maybe Israel was getting close to rescue. A couple of them hit close to home here, but we are thinking of the families of Eden and Alex and Ori and Almog. One that was closer to home here and pretty well known in the US media is Hersh Goldberg-Polin. Because of his mom, Rachel, and his dad, John, they were just at the DNC speaking and they've been in the media. He had his hand or arm blown off and was in captivity. There was a video of him alive in April. He was throwing a grenade out of the bomb shelters when his arm was injured and they captured him. So our hearts go out to the family. They are from this area here in Chicago. I know people that know them and were at synagogue with them, and it just breaks our hearts. One of the ones that was declared deceased was Carmel Gat. We were able to, in May, interview Carmel's niece, Maya, and also then in Washington this summer, we ran into Maya and the brother of Carmel, Ori. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to bring you first the interview with Maya so that you can learn a little bit more about Carmel. Of course, when we filmed this, she was still in captivity and we assume alive. And then we're going to play an interview that I did on the street with Ori. And that interview was done during the speech of Prime Minister Netanyahu in Washington. And you can kind of see the pain of the families that were upset with the government officials because the families are just saying, get a deal done, get our family home, and then take care of the problem. The problem, though, is Hamas wouldn't allow that to there be a deal because they would want commitments that Israel would stop attacking them. And so you have this like big picture government, saying we cannot allow this to happen again. Yes, we want them home, and I think we're doing everything they can to rescue them and to get them home, and even to make a deal that would make sense for Israel's future security. And that's what I think is the balance here in Israel, because you have many are saying, bring them home now, and we should demand that, and the world should. But also the government says we've got to eliminate this terror, and so that's what's been going on. And you're going to feel this in these interviews. So our heart breaks for all of these families, especially those that we know personally, and our prayers go out to them.
I am part of what we now call the hostage families, which is a weird way to present yourself to people, but that's my new moniker. That day, I was mostly in shock. I thought I didn't have to worry about my immediate family. My cousin Yarden, we're the same age, we're both 36. My father's brother, lived with her husband and their 3-year-old in Kibbutz Be'eri, which, as you probably know, is one of the ones closest to Gaza, for the past 4 years. But actually, they had decided to leave the kibbutz early September because Yarden felt she wasn't scared so much as she just felt she couldn't be the mother she wanted to be with the constant anxiety of the missile alarms and having to run to the shelters. So she really didn't want to stay there, and eventually they decided to leave. And they came back here to Tel Aviv to live with her father. And early October, they went on a family trip, their entire family, to South Africa. And they came back on the 6th. And she and Alon and their daughter decided to go and visit his family, who they haven't seen for the past month. And so they went to Kibbutz Be'eri and they stayed the night. So I didn't know it at the time, but they were there with Alon's family, with his father, Eshel, and his mother, Kinneret, and his sister, Carmel. So sometime around the morning, we started talking to Yarden's family, her brothers, asking them what's going on. And at around 10:30, she stopped responding to his texts. And there was really nothing we can do for that first day. We just all sat going crazy, scrolling social media. We felt, again, we call it kind of a deterioration of hope, where we kept hoping for ridiculous things. Like we figured they were there, but we hoped maybe they were able to stay in the shelter. And then we thought, well, we understood that something had happened and someone broke in, but we hoped, well, maybe they were being held in the kibbutz. There were a lot of rumors that some people were being held hostage in the dining hall of the kibbutz. Then at a certain point, it became clear that wasn't the fact. So we started actually hoping that they were taken hostages as opposed to being dead somewhere. And then in the morning of the 8th, we got a call from Alon, Yarden's husband, and Carmel's brother. And he told us what happened. Around 10:30 a.m., terrorists entered his parents' home. His parents were not at the safe room at the exact time. They were actually trying to get some food to bring back to the shelter. His mother saw the terrorists enter and she signaled to his father to try and go hide in the bathroom, which he did. And then through the small bathroom window, his father could see his family basically being taken away. The terrorists shot at the bathroom door but missed him and then gave up. We don't know why. And so he just stayed there trying to see what was happening, and he saw them first take Kineret, Carmel's mother, and then take Carmel separately, put her in a car, and then take Yarden and Alon and their 3-year-old daughter, Geffen. Later, we would find a video on social media of Kineret being taken away. At first, we thought she was fine. She seemed fine. And then the following day, we saw the second part of the video, which showed that she was shot not far from the family home, and she was murdered. Carmel was taken alone. We had no idea what happened to her until the first hostage deal. We do now know that she probably saw her mother's body as she was being taken to Gaza. And Alon, Yarden, and Geffen were taken last. They were put in a car with 3 armed terrorists and a driver, and they were driven towards Gaza. Really, just a few hundred meters from the border, the car encountered a tank and it slowed down. The terrorists got out of the car to see what was happening and told the driver, keep going. The driver had to make a U-turn and he slowed down. And Alon and Carmel, in this moment, without talking, just looked at each other, jumped out of both sides of the car. Yarden was carrying Geffen in her arms, and they started running. The terrorists quickly noticed them, started shooting at them. And at that point, Yarden made what she says is a very easy decision to give her daughter over to her husband so he could run faster. And she stayed behind. Alon ran with Geffen in his arms, and he found a ditch to hide in. He hid for 8 hours. He put Geffen down, put himself on top of her, covered himself with leaves and dirt, and just for 8 hours heard cars searching for them. When it got night, he started to make his way back to the kibbutz. It was a few kilometers that he had to walk with a 3-year-old. No food, no water. She was actually amazing. Like, she told us, the only thing she asked him was, she told him, it's too bad we didn't bring any water on the trip. She's perfect. And after 54 days during the first humanitarian deal, we got Yarden back, which was amazing. It was, I had gotten much closer to my cousins during this time. We were all pretty close, but we were never this close. So when we went to the hospital to see her, I didn't know if she wanted me there, with her family. So I waited around the bend while they all kind of met. Then all of a sudden, Geffen, who is obsessed with Paw Patrol, the cartoon, because they save people. So she had this Paw Patrol costume made up that she had to come with to the hospital so she could show her mom her new costume. And during this entire time, we couldn't hide from her what was happening. So we just kept telling her that her mom got lost and we were looking for her mom. Then all of a sudden, I'm waiting around the bed and she comes charging down with her costume, going crazy. You have to come. We found mom. You have to see it. And it was just really the best moment of all of our lives. Which is weird that the best moment of your life can come from the worst thing to ever happen to your family. We got Yarden back. She's dealing with the trauma, but she's physically fine. The original humanitarian deal was for all the women and children. And so Carmel is currently one of the last women over there. We were sure that Carmel was coming back within a couple of days of Yarden. Yarden was sure of this. And actually the first time I saw her broke down was the day after she came back, when the humanitarian deal fell through and Hamas would not give us the name of 10 women that they were going to release. And it's been over 6 months since then. They've already told you from some of the teenagers that came back, we know that Carmel is alive. We know that they were held with Carmel. And we know that Carmel really helped them deal with very uneasy physical conditions, and that she practiced yoga and meditation with them, which is very much who she is. But we also know that when they were being let go, she didn't know that they were being let go. She was told they're taking them to the bathroom. And so she basically stayed behind alone. We have no idea what condition she's being held in right now. We're obviously very, very worried because of everything we've all heard during these past months. It's just hard to fathom all the different things that happen. And this is just one specific family who fared okay, considering that Yarden is back. But, for the first couple of months, we were so focused on Yarden and getting Yarden back. And then, Yarden's trauma. And then the focus shifted to Carmel, and all of the family focused on Carmel. And then suddenly, about a couple of months ago, was the first time we really started to think about Kinneret and the loss, the fact that the mother of this family was murdered. And in fact, Carmel's family currently, all of the women of their family is missing. It's Carmel's father, Alon, and his younger brother, and his sister is kidnapped, his mother is murdered, his wife is dealing with her trauma from being there. And so you really see the effect of that on the family. There's, a lot of emotional core that is missing within how the family structures, functions. There's so many aspects to it that are just really hard to even fathom, even for us. We still, and I think a lot of the families will tell you that it feels like it's still October 7th for a lot of people, because we're still in this. We're still doing this, we're still trying to advocate, and it's getting much harder, and the situation is very depressing because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of movement going on. So it's there are a lot of different aspects to this trauma that keeps unfolding.
I interviewed Maya in the hostage square, and she told me about Carmel. And we've already done a whole episode about her. So let me just say I'm sorry for her, and our prayers are with you and her and the family.
I just want to say I appreciate the support and everything that you're doing, even if you're just interviewing and you're with him. So it helps us, and that's what we need. We need this. And for me, I'm from Kibbutz Be'eri all my life. My parents been there. My mother was murdered along with 100 members of the kibbutz, family of mine. My sister, she's still an hostage. 292 days. My sister-in-law, Yarden Roman Gat, she was on 60 Minutes. I recommend to everybody to hear her experience from captivity. That's Maya Roman's cousin, and we're all family, and we want this day to be over. And as Yarden came back, we saw it possible, and we could hug her, and now she's with a child Geffen. We want Carmel back, we need her back, and that's what we are doing here because of our Prime Minister, while he needs to take care of a deal and take care of a citizen that taken out of their beds and now in captivity, and they are dying every day.
Were you?
So he's coming here to speech.
Were you in there?
Yeah, I was in the speech.
You were?
With my family, my brother and my cousin. They are now arrested in the police station. That's why we are sitting here.
Why?
Because
They were wearing shirts that said "Seal the
shirt that says
I
seal
saw
the
that.
deal.
We were doing a watch party.
I was wearing this shirt.
I see. Okay. So you were calling for a hostage deal.
We're calling for the immediate return of the hostages in any way. The immediate way to do it is with a deal right now. A rescue, we are love when it's happened, and we love and we are happy that everyone that came back, like Noah Gamani that's been here with us today, and it's joyful to see her here standing with us. But for us, for Carmel and others that stayed alive there is no time. We can't wait for another rescue. We need a deal, and we know it from the first day, from October 7th. We know it from October 8th, and we know it from April, and we know it now.
And that's the difference between Jewish people, Israelis, and sane Americans is we value life. We value life so much that you're willing to do almost anything to get your sister back, which I understand that.
That's what I feel every day when I meet the Jewish community and also the non-Jewish community that going behind us, and indifferent people that really understand the value of life and humanity. And what is it about to save life, and what is it when one day, 100 people that you know can just vanish from your life, and your sister will be held, and you can not even mourn on the others. So when you understand that, when I'm saying without any other interest, that we value life, we want now to eliminate every terror that harms us, but we need to bring back the hostages, and then we can do anything else.
I'm assuming people like Prime Minister Netanyahu are trying to look at the big picture. You want your sister back. Families want their relatives back. But they also want to say, what can we do to make sure this never happens again? No one's taken hostage. So this is the dilemma and the balance, right? Because if you give in, so do you think that do you feel like they would literally give every hostage back?
So for about I
would?
believe in that. That's depend on us.
You don't
that's
think they would hold back
That's
some?
a terror organization.
Mm-hmm. Right, can you trust them?
No, I can't trust them, but I couldn't trust them before.
Right.
So about the thing that you said that he's looking on the big picture, someone else? No, I'm looking at the big picture. I want my family back, but I want safety for Israel. It won't help me if Israel couldn't survive, even after Carmel comes back. That's my home, that's where I live. I live all my life in Kibbutz Be'eri, that's next to Gaza. Right now, Israel is not secured. The US is helping us very much to be protected right now, but people are dying every day. It's not a matter of a month from now or 2 months from now. We need to do these things immediately. So right now, the most important thing is to save lives. As you said, the value of life, save the value of the hostages, and eliminate terror. That's the only way you can do it. So that's the only consensus everyone can agree. Bring back the hostages. After that, we can fight terror whenever, as we did always. Thank you very much.
And I'm a pastor, and let me just say this. I'm really, really sorry what happened to Israel on October 7th. Our church every Sunday has prayed for all the hostages, some by name, and so now we'll continue to pray for your sister and for all of the hostages.
So you can speak, you met me in your church, and for everybody that hear us.
I will.
For everybody that hear us,
yes.
Tweet, we need to spread the words. I don't care about my name, but Carmel's name.
Yes.
I have to be there. Everybody should know that she was taken outside of the bed. She need to be home 200 days ago, 290 days ago, 300 days ago. So this is bring Carmel back, bring them home in the backyard, bring Carmel back. This is the Instagram page. Every hostage family, almost every hostage, have a Instagram page. Bring Bibas back. bring Carmel back. I know them all. They all went to school with me. Yarden and Shiri and Sagi and Olev that have died and Yagev Buchstav that died. He was in school with me. So just spread the words because we need to bring them all back. If not, it will be forgotten and it will stay like Ron Arad, the pilot that been in captivity for 30 years.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
After talking with Or Gat, the brother of Carmel, again, my heart breaks to know that now the whole family is in mourning. They were hoping for her release. It seems like she was an amazing woman, but that's the reality of life in this world. There is evil, there is sin, and that's what Israel is fighting, that evil against Hamas and those that are trying to eliminate the Jewish people. And again, we stand up for Israel. Here we are at our Israel wall. This is a permanent display. We added the hostage pictures here. Of course, we've marked them as deceased or rescued, but this is a rocket, a Hamas rocket that fell into Sderot some years ago that was made into a flower. But we at this church say we will never forget what happened to Israel during the Holocaust, but we will also never forget to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and bless Israel and the Jewish people, and that's what we've tried to do. Unfortunately, after my interview with Or on the streets of Washington, D.C., and that was the same trip we were confronting the pro-Palestinian or anti-Israel protesters. One of my Jewish friends got spat on in that. After the interview with Or, we were standing there on the street and just kind of talking with Or and Maya, and suddenly a man walks up well-dressed, and he's an Israeli. Turns out he was the ambassador of Israel to Italy, and he was there in Washington for the speech. And him and Or got into a heated argument. And I'm not going to play all of that for you. I just wanted to show you a little bit of this because it does speak to the emotion, the awful, awful burden that Israel is under right now, and all the different sides of this. But again, Israel has to defend itself. We cannot say ceasefire until Hamas is eradicated. We cannot say the Palestinians deserve a state. These things cannot happen because then Israel is under attack over and over and over. Israel needs all of the land, they need the security, and they need to eliminate the evil and the wickedness. So what is the solution? Well, what I've found in my life that gives me 100% peace and assurance of eternal life is my faith in a Jew. His name is Yeshua, his name is Jesus. The Bible predicted that he would come in a certain place and a certain time. He fulfilled all of those predictions. He died on a cross, he rose again the third day. I put my faith in him, and the Bible tells me that I have eternal life. And that's the hope. That's the hope of the world, is that God did come into the world and paid for our sins and rose again. And he's coming back to bring peace, true and lasting peace. And until that day, we continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. We appreciate all of you watching this. We have a lot of other great YouTube specials from Israel, from other places, and we encourage you to watch all of the different programs that we have. We also have a lot of other resources on our website, InGrace.tv. And we would love for you to consider supporting our work on creating pro-Israel content. If you would like to make a donation, you can do it here on YouTube, or you can go to our website, InGrace.tv. May God bless you, and don't forget to pray for the hostages and pray for Israel.